So today's video is a donation request from Nick, and it's actually a very simple challenge for once. It's just high round World at War Verruckt. So for this video, my goal was mainly to beat my highest round on this map, which is 105 from an old video from about a year and a half ago. So if anyone remembers that, then you're an OG. But hopefully I've improved at the game in that year and a half, and I can beat my old highest round. And so starting off the game, I just wanted to get Jug as soon as possible since it's Verruckt and I just didn't want to go down early. I also grabbed double tap since on these early rounds I use the MP40 a lot, and double tap really helps out with the MP40. And after that, I just start hitting the box to try and get the flamethrower and also the ray gun. And I know for this map you don't absolutely need the ray gun, but I always like to try and get it since it makes the early rounds a lot easier and a lot faster. And I very rarely ever actually hit myself with the ray gun, so it's not really much of a risk for me because I've just played World at War so much, I just very rarely ever hit myself with it. And on this game, the box decided to be really nice to me and give me the deployable bar while I was already holding the regular bar. That's just so awesome and such a great thing about this map. And a couple minutes later, the box decided to actually be nice and give me the flamethrower, which is the main gun I'll be using for high rounds since it has infinite ammo and can actually kill on any round. And since I wasn't getting the ray gun, and since it's been so long since I've played an actual high round game of Verruckt, I decided to just start the high round strategy very early on round 11. So this is the strategy I'll be doing. I just pull this trap at the start of the round and then just sit at the barrier inside of it and shoot the flamethrower at the zombies inside the barrier. Pretty simple strategy, but things can still very easily go wrong in this. And then at the end of the rounds, I would use a little bit of my extra points to hit the box, still hoping to get the ray gun because it's really helpful at killing any late spawning zombies, and also if any zombies decide to jump through the barrier when it's already built, because they can do that in World at War a lot. And on these low rounds when the spawns are really slow, it's pretty risky to do this strat because there will be a lot of late spawning zombies that just show up way after the trap ends, and those zombies can easily just get me trapped while I'm killing other ones and just get me killed. Also, a random little fact to mention is that in all of these games, I always throw a grenade and let it damage me just a little bit, because on World at War Zombies, doing this removes the stun from when you go through traps. So if I need to run through a trap, I'm not going to get slowed down and stunned by it, which shouldn't help, but it could. I mean, I don't plan on it running through any traps, but in the off chance that I need to for any reason, I can, and it could help out a lot. But a little bit later, the trap ended, and I didn't notice two late zombies until they were literally right on me, and when I tried to get past them, I got stuck, and they 3-hit killed me. So my first game ended on round 17. That is quite unfortunate. On to attempt 2, where I was just using all of my points on the box and wasn't having any luck with getting the flamethrower or the ray gun. And I played all the way to round 14 and still couldn't get the flamethrower or the ray gun, so I started just doing the trap strat without having either of them and was just shooting the MP40 and the Thompson at the zombies in the barrier and hitting the box at the end of the rounds, always trying to keep at least a couple thousand points for the trap, and just in case I didn't get enough points back in the round, just to keep my points up because I have to spend them every round. And it ended up taking me all the way to the end of round 19 to finally get the ray gun from the box, but I still don't have the flamethrower, which is actually the more important gun, so I still need to hit the box. And another thing about this strat is that I always try to leave at least one zombie in the window because I don't want to accidentally end this round too early and then not have the trap be ready for the next round, since it's really difficult to survive a round in this area past even 20 without the trap because this area is just so tight, and I don't want to open up the other half of the map because then zombies will spawn over there and it'll take them forever to get to the trap. So I only open this half of the map, and I always try to use the trap every single round. And honestly, there isn't much to mention with this strat. It's pretty simple, just turn the trap on and sit at the barrier, but that doesn't mean that it's really easy because one bad spawn or the zombies randomly just deciding to jump through the barrier even though it's built, and you can pretty easily just die. And this is World at War, so there's no quick revive, so one bad move and the entire game is over. But finally, on round 26, I got the flamethrower, which means I'm fully set up for the game, and all I need to worry about now is just surviving. Also, something to mention, but I assume most people already know this, but just in case anyone doesn't, there are only 24 zombies per round in solo on Noct, Verruckt, and Shinonuma on World at War Zombies, so the rounds are really quick, and an insta-kill or a nuke can end an entire round because of that. And about 40 minutes into the game, I hit round 30, and for this map, honestly, the higher the round, the easier the strategy is, because the spawns are just so fast that pretty much all the zombies die to the trap, and you only need to deal with the ones that are spawning inside that barrier. But occasionally the zombies might get out of the barrier before the trap ends, and what I would usually do is just very slowly lead them to the trap next to the double barrel wall buy, and then hopefully the trap is off by the time you get over there, and then just walk around this area and kill them with the flamethrower or the ray gun, once again because you just don't want to end the round too early and not have the trap ready for the next round. And those zombies on round 32 gave me a nuke, and I wanted to try and use it to end the entirety of round 33, but since this is a lower round, it actually wasn't able to kill the full round, and things nearly went horribly wrong when multiple zombies got me stuck, but I was just barely able to escape them by proning and then kill them with the ray gun. And I just want to show this clip because it's just a certified World at War moment. So the zombie jumps through the barrier even though it has a board on it and I'm building it. And then he straight up just grabs onto me and I legit cannot move at all until I manage to jump and prone to get away from him. And he dies from my flamethrower at the exact same time, even though I wasn't shooting it at him. And then about 50 minutes into the game, I hit round 40, and I was starting to get confident that this would be a good game, since like I mentioned earlier, this just gets easier as it goes on, since the spawns get faster and more consistent, and they actually max out at round 64. So if you can get to that, then the spawns will be fast and consistent, and you'll probably be pretty good for a high round game, as long as you don't just get a horrible spawn or just make a big mistake. And on round 41, this random zombie just decided to chill and stand still inside of its barrier and not even try and come attack me, which is pretty funny, but unfortunately I had to kill him even though he seemed pretty chill. And one of the last zombies on round 43 dropped a nuke, so I used it to hopefully end round 44 entirely, but unfortunately it left a ton of zombies, which I didn't expect, so I had to just train them all in this like circle around the trap and just kill them normally. And near the end of round 49, a zombie dropped an insta-kill, and I wanted to use it on round 50, so I started trying to kill the zombies as fast as possible with the ray gun and flamethrower, but I accidentally ended up backing up into the insta-kill while killing the last zombie of the round. But even though I picked up the insta-kill early, I still wanted to use it on round 50, so I tossed some grenades down into the courtyard where a lot of spawns are, and I spammed my flamethrower at all the other zombies, but I wasn't able to get through the whole round with the insta-kill, and I nearly got trapped killing the last couple zombies, but I was able to kill them and go on to round 51. And then on round 57, only 2 zombies ended up going to the barrier, and I expected way more than that, so I killed both of them pretty quickly, and then the trap ended the round, and you can kind of just see me stare at the trap and realize that this means the trap won't be ready for round 58, which essentially means I'm screwed, because I'm going to have to try and train up the full horde on World at War in this tiny area. And so you can probably guess what happened when I tried to train in this area. I got trapped pretty much instantly and almost managed to just prone and crawl my way out of it, but I got killed just as I was escaping, ending my second game on round 58, which sucks because I was only 6 rounds away from hitting the max spawn rate, which is where the game gets way easier, but that run only took about an hour, so I decided to just run it back right after that death. On to attempt 3, where the box actually decided to be really nice and give me the ray gun on round 7, and just a little bit later it gave me the flamethrower as well. And usually when I play this map, I'll get one and then just like never the other. Like if I get the flamethrower, I'll just never get the ray gun, and if I get the ray gun, I'll just like never get the flamethrower. So it was nice to actually have some good luck. And for this, I'm just going to skip over the early rounds for this game since it's literally just the same as last game, just me, you know, camping in a corner and then just starting the trap strat. So I'm just going to skip and just show me hitting round 30. And another thing I should mention in this video, because if I don't, there might be comments about it. So Jug works differently on Verruckt and Shino Numa on World at War. Like, for example, when I died on 58, I got hit like 10 times, but when I died on round 17 earlier, I died in 3 hits. That's because Jug on here raises your health from 100 to 160, but it gives you insanely fast health regeneration. Whereas normally it raises your health from 100 to 250 and you just have like normal health regeneration. On this, it's insanely fast. So sometimes you'll get hit 10 times and survive, and then other times you'll die super quick in like 3 hits. That's just how Jug is on this map. So it can work in your favor sometimes, and it can also work against you. And something really annoying that happens on this map is that zombies at the barrier will randomly just run away and just go to a barrier in like the spawn room and then come from the staircase, and they can get you killed if you don't realize that they ran away. But luckily this time I saw them, so it was no problem, and I hit round 50 again. This time it was actually a little faster because I had better box luck. And I got an insta-kill at the end of round 53, so I used it on round 54, and it's really nice getting an actual useful drop on Verruckt, since it doesn't happen often, since the trap is getting the majority of the kills in this strategy, and that obviously doesn't give you drops. But being able to get a round over within like 20 to 30 seconds is just really nice when most of the rounds are just sitting at a barrier shooting the flamethrower most of the time. And just a little bit later, I killed the last couple zombies around 58, and I was happy to beat the round I died on last game, and it was nice to see that even after not playing Verruckt for high rounds in a long time, I was still consistent at being able to get far, especially since how unforgiving this map can be at times. And at round 62, I decided to get rid of the ray gun, since at this point it doesn't really kill well at all, and the MP40 will just be more helpful on insta-kills since the flamethrower doesn't have good range, and I just really didn't need the ray gun anymore. And just a little bit after that, it hit round 64, which like I mentioned earlier is when the spawn rates max out. So basically this round is the start of the fastest possible spawns on this game, and they'll just remain that way for the rest of the game, which means having any late zombies is very rare and will pretty much just like never happen. And from playing most of these games of Verruckt recently, I kind of realized that playing this map, or at least this strategy, is so much better on keyboard and mouse, because back when I played on Xbox and obviously on controller, it was like always really annoying holding the button to rebuild the barrier while also trying to move, shoot, and also look back to see if the trap was off. And it's just so much easier on mouse and keyboard. So if you ever want a high round Verruckt and you have access to playing on a mouse and keyboard, I would definitely recommend it, because playing this strat on controller is just way more annoying than it is on mouse and keyboard. And I haven't been showing a ton of this game because, I mean, all the rounds are basically the same, and I'm just not really sure what to like show or mention, because I haven't been having a lot of close calls, and I'd say like 80% of this strategy is literally just sitting at this barrier and just backing up so you don't, get killed through the barrier, and then just kind of walking in a circle with the flamethrower. And like when you're playing it, it's intense because like you never know what's going to happen. You never know, you'll have a late zombie or a zombie will run away and come from downstairs and kill you. But like when you're watching it, it's just not that entertaining because it's just sitting still most of the round or just walking slowly in a circle flamethrowing the zombies. But as you could see there at the end of round 72, I got that insta-kill to get me through the entirety of round 73 really quickly, and I actually got another insta-kill on round 73 while using that insta-kill, so I was going to get that one to get me through round 74 really quickly. So just some really good drop luck right there. And that insta-kill did get me through round 74 really quick, so now I'm on round 75, only 30 rounds away from my PB, and I was starting to get really confident that I could beat it this game. But on round 75, I made a similar mistake to last game where I accidentally ended the round too early, except this time it was just because I shot the zombie with the flamethrower a little too much, I guess, so it died even after I stopped shooting it with the flamethrower. So I have to just really hope that the trap gets ready in time, or I'm going to have to train the entire horde here, and we saw how that went last time. And unfortunately for me, the trap did not get ready in time, so I'm forced to try my best to get a horde here. And it at least started off well because I didn't get trapped in the double barrel corner this time like I did last time. But when I started running through the double tap hallway, one of the zombies trapped me just barely against the wall, and I just barely was not able to escape him by proning. So my game ended on round 76, and this time I decided to take a little break before playing again because I didn't want to just hop straight into another game after playing for like 3 hours. Now going on to attempt like number 10, because I died early on a bunch of games before finally getting another good game going, and I'm once again skipping over the early rounds, but this time I'm just going to show me hitting around 40 instead of 30 since nothing interesting was happening before that. And not much happened in the 40s as well, but then on round 51, the zombies got out of the barrier really early, but luckily the trap turned off in time, but there were some late zombies that nearly got me trapped when I was getting the last few zombies hoarded up. And then about an hour and a half into this game, I was back to round 70 and was really hoping this could be the game I get a new PB. I just need to absolutely make sure I don't accidentally end a round too early this time. But on round 74, I did the same thing as my last two games where I accidentally killed all the zombies in the barrier, but luckily this time I realized my mistake instantly and ran outside the trap so the last zombie of the round wouldn't run into it and die, and I could just wait for the trap to recharge, and that quick thinking probably saved the game, because if that happened again and I died, I would have been pretty mad. And just a few minutes later, I was at round 76 again, but this time I actually got past it. So this is my best game of these attempts so far, and hopefully will be the one where I actually get a new PB. And not long after that, I end up hitting round 80, which I believe makes this my second best game of Verruckt ever as far as I can remember. Near the end of round 80, I got an insta-kill, and I used it to get through round 81, and like I mentioned earlier, getting good drops on Verruckt is just so nice to just basically get a quick free round. And then I got to round 85, only 20 rounds away from my PB now, and this is kind of when I started to get nervous because although this strategy is easy, it literally just takes one small mistake for the whole game to be over. But I made it to round 90 with no issues, about 2 hours into the game, and there's not much else I can say except I was nervous because I didn't want to die. On round 92, I knew there was a late zombie somewhere because one ran off from the barrier, but it turns out it went back to the barrier and climbed through and came from this way and almost got me trapped, but after that I killed the last couple zombies with a flamethrower, and one of them dropped a nuke for me to use to instantly just end round 93. And then it was time for round 99, which is usually very scary, but round 100 isn't actually my goal, so 99 is basically just another random round before reaching my PB of 105. But nonetheless, it did feel pretty nice getting past it and seeing round 100 on Verruckt for only the second time in my time playing zombies. And it means I'm now only 5 rounds away from my highest round, so I just need to lock in and play for just a little bit longer. But then, on round 100, the absolute worst possible thing happened. I did it again. I killed the entire round too soon by accident, and I don't have the trap ready for round 101, and I'm gonna have to try to train the full horde, and you guys saw how that went on 58 and 76. But maybe this time I could break the cycle and clutch up since I'm only 4 rounds away from my PB. But about 20 seconds into trying to train, I got trapped in a double barrel corner once again, but I managed to prone and start shooting the zombies and was surviving for a couple seconds, but I died when I tried to switch to the flamethrower to keep shooting, so I died on the 101, and that was really annoying. It was so annoying, in fact, that I just went to sleep, and I planned on waking up and just editing the video and posting it as a fail, but the next morning when I woke up, I randomly was just scrolling on TikTok, and I saw a random guy that I've literally never seen before streaming Verruckt on round 180, and I was just in his chat talking about my game and how I died on round 101, and he told me to just not give up and try it again. And I just decided, you know what, sure, I'll give it one more game because I've been consistently getting far, so it wouldn't hurt to just at least try it one more time. But I gotta say, the beginning of this game was not giving me hope for this to be a good game because it took me all the way until round 38 to get the flamethrower from the box. Like, that is just actually ridiculous. And nearly an hour and 10 minutes into the game, and I hit round 50 once again, but this game is a little slower than last time because the box was just horrible to me this game. And a while later, I hit round 70 and was actually surprised I was doing this good since I literally woke up like 15 minutes before starting this game, but I guess the like 6 hours of Verruckt I played the day before just got me warmed up as far as playing this map goes. And at the end of round 76, a zombie dropped a nuke, so I used that to just instantly end round 77, and then one of the zombies that got nuked on 77 dropped an insta-kill, so I used that to just get straight through round 78, which was just really nice getting 2 rounds over within like less than a minute. Oh no, I ended the round too early. This could be bad. On trap. Oh my gosh. The trap came back. Perfect timing. And a little over 2 hours into the game, and I got back to round 90, and this time I actually didn't really feel that nervous at all about dying, because all my deaths were just from making the exact same mistake, which was just ending the round too early. In this game, I was making sure to play it very safe, just making absolutely sure to not be shooting the flamethrower too much at the zombies in the barrier, especially if I see that there's not that many. And I got an insta-kill to help me get through pretty much all of round 94, so I was back to round 95, just 10 rounds away from my PB of 105. All I have to do is just not choke the game again. Alright, 99's looking like it's about over. Bro, this one zombie decided to run away. Now it's super late, and I'm gonna have to sit here and kill it for like a minute. There we go, round 100. My third time ever getting to 100 on this map. All right, 101. This is where I died last time. Dude, I'm so locked in. I'm getting a new PB this game. I might even hit instas this game, honestly. I might just lock in and hit instas. You know, I was thinking, like, this morning, like, I'm just going to edit the video and post it as is, you know, around 101 being my highest. And I got onto TikTok, and this guy was streaming on 180. And I was telling him about how I died. And he was like, you just got to keep going. Don't give up. So I tried again, and now here I am. All right, last round before PB. Traps going on. We're getting through 104, easy. All right, PB round. I got to lock in. I can't die on this round. All right, I got trap ready. Yeah, it's going to be an easy round. I can already feel it. I'm killing. There's only 4 zombies at the barrier. This is easy. All right, new PB, 106. Let's go. New PB. Let's go. I'm getting insta-kill rounds this game. And so as you can see, I got a new PB, which was my main goal, but obviously I'm going to keep going. And my new goal for this game was to hit insta-kill rounds, which if you don't know what that is, they start at 163, and it's basically when the zombie's health goes so high that the game just like can't handle it anymore. And then on certain rounds, the zombie's health will just reset back to round 1 health. So that round is basically like an insta-kill, and it's just really, really easy. But it doesn't happen on every round. It's just like certain rounds. There's like a cycle to it. You can look it up online. I'm not really going to go in depth on explaining it. But I mean, yeah, certain rounds will have round 1 zombie health, and you can just kill them with like anything. On round 114, a bunch of zombies ran down to the spawn room, and I didn't realize, and when I went to train up the zombies from the barrier, the ones coming from the staircase nearly trapped me, but I managed to get past them and go on to round 115. And on round 115, the zombies jumped out of the barrier really early, and I had to walk around with them in this little like hallway area, which actually isn't that scary and is kind of just a common occurrence for me at least. But I just felt like I had to show off this round a little bit, even if nothing much happened, because I mean, it's round 115. That's like the zombies number.
Right.
I have to show it at least a little bit. And on round 118, some zombies running through the trap were pushing me into a zombie that was jumping through the barrier, and it allowed all of the zombies to just jump through the barrier and into the little hallway with me while the trap was still going, and it ended up leading to this happening. And oh no. Oh my gosh, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. I ran the zombies through the trap, and they were all going to die to it, and the trap wasn't going to be ready, but it turned off with 1 zombie. With 1 zombie left, it turned off. And that is by far the luckiest thing to happen to me in any Verruckt game ever, because if that trap killed that zombie and the round ended, I wouldn't have had the trap for 119, and I most likely would have died in the exact same way as all my other games. But most of the 120s were pretty uneventful until 129, when the zombies hopped out of the barrier while the trap was still going, and I had to train them a tiny bit in the hallway, but it ended up fine, and I killed them and went on to round 130, which makes me only 33 rounds away from insta-kill rounds. And then on round 132, some zombies that came from the spawn room nearly trapped me, but I just barely got through and ended the round. And the rest of the 130s weren't too interesting, so here's me hitting around 140, a little over 3 hours into the game, and now only 23 rounds away from instas. And this game seemed like it was going very well, but then on round 143, this happened, and it just felt like deja vu. Oh no, the round just ended really early. Dude, I might be screwed. The round ended really, really early. I don't know if I'll have trap. Round started, no trap. I'm screwed. Oh, oh, okay. This is not good. I'm in the trap area, but I have a bunch of zombies. Wait. No! No, I was so close to getting out. So after all of that, it was the exact same mistake that got me killed on literally all of the high round games. Just ending the round too early. But that 144 death, I actually had a good chance of clutching it, but I just got blocked by that one zombie that ran through the trap at the end there. But even with the unfortunate death, I still beat my old PB of 105 by 39 rounds, so I'm happy, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe.